Hello everyone. If you've noticed that I haven't been using my camera, instead I'm doing a lot of streaming, well, the reason is that my camera is broken and I'm waiting to get a replacement. But in the meantime, I'm doing live streaming and recording on Zoom so that I can keep going. We do what we have to. This is the first FNAF Puppet, I guess. I'm not exactly sure what it's called that I did, but I wanted to make a few adjustments to the way I made this. And I'm starting with this pattern, which I also made. And if you can see how this is, all I did was I took a piece of cardboard, did a scoop, did like this, 3 fingers, up, down, and out, right? That's all I did. The first animal, stuffed animal, creature, whatever, used basic cotton, and the discussion was whether I overstuffed it or whether the pattern needed adjustment, because there's a diamond I had put in here to make it more, able to close. So what I did when I traced the next one, I actually gave a little bit more room. So you can see I scooted this out a bit, right? So there's a little bit of extra going on here. So there'll be enough room for something to happen, like, for the thing to be rounder here and bigger there than at the end. That's the idea anyway. When I actually sew it, I am going to do the stuffing not at the crotch, but at the back of the head. So that's sort of my general plan. This time I've actually cut out most of the pieces in advance, just so that I can streamline the sewing and have them easier for you. This head was a little smaller than this one, but it actually needs a bigger head according to the picture that I saw. And this is cut from a yard of white felt. And I've cut a lot of smaller felt strips that I can use for the arms and the legs. Some strips for the cheeks. And here, because this is bigger, I've made these bigger than these. You might be able to see that they're a little bigger, just so that it doesn't have too much white space. For the eyes here, the mouth here, I'm using part of an old t-shirt. It's actually not an old t-shirt, it's a new t-shirt that's never been used, but it is being used for this. And the reason I use a t-shirt and not cotton is that the t-shirt fabric does not fray at the end. So you can see here, it's the difference between woven and knit fabrics. Woven fabrics have threads that go through and then they go back and forth. And so when you cut it, there's a loose end there. Knit fabrics, not exactly sure how knit fabrics are done, but when you actually cut a knit fabric, you're not going to see a lot of loose threads like this. So t-shirts are great for this sort of thing. So I'm using some black t-shirt material. And here I have another new unused t-shirt that I'm going to cut into for the gray for the cheeks. And for these, I'm going to use, it's called Heat and Bond, double-sided Heat and Bond, but that will be its own special video, right? So for now, what I'm going to be doing is we were just talking about how to get the patterns again. So this one, I just hand drew it. This one is a plate, a dinner plate, and these are from the bottoms of the thread, right? So I just drew with my light colored marker so I could see it, but not necessarily like totally obliterate the color. And then, and on this one, I just kind of cut these down, right? So cut it a bit smaller. Those are my ingredients. The first step I'm going to do is to sew the bottoms together. I'm going to sew right. So this is going to be interesting. When you do the white, you don't want to have a seam here because otherwise you might have a matching problem. If you have a bit of a matching problem on the inside, it's not so bad. But on the outside and the inside, it starts to look a little tacky. So what I have to do in order to make me not have a matching problem is I first have to sew down here so that then these arms can open up and I can sew one piece along the whole arm, right? Same thing with the leg. Sew on the outside and then sew those 3 straight things, pieces of white across. Then I will sew the crotch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first part and sew the 3 lines on the arms and the legs, and then I will checkpoint with you later. Okay? So this is the FNAF Puppet Part